here is my Espa Roba deck. I'll try to make this short. I use one Jinzo because I felt that it's great to showcase the one card, and he may or may not have just had one in the deck. Joey won his most valuable card. Although we don't know if he had three of them, but it was limited to one in GOAT format, so, and I forgot if it was limited in Japanese. I used three Jinzo number 7. Android, they're both called Android Psycho Shocker in Japanese. I used 3 of him because I thought, hey, I want to do something between him and Gravity Bind, and Gravity sort of fits with the, the machine android creatures, the cyber creatures. So 2-star 500 can attack directly. I also combo him with Machine Duplication, which was technically in Battle City, even though it wasn't in set releases. Cyber Raider was a vanilla monster in the media. It's kind of neat how they take cards and give them effects. So for Cyber Raider, it can destroy an equipped spell card. Equip card? Okay, so when it's summoned, select and activate one of the following effects here. Destroy an equipped spell card, or target one equipped spell card and equip it to this. So you can destroy Premature Burial, Snatch Deal, or you can take their Axe of Despair and equip it on that, which is really cool. His theme is dark and light machine monsters, but also cards that have cyber in their name. So Reflect Bounder, I use 3 of them here. I know I break my own rule. But he needs more. I need to play more monsters for him because he only had like 4. So in the manga, in the anime, this actually basically was a Sakuretsu armor in Mega Cyber, 6-star tribute. I believe it was also an effect in the anime, but I think in the manga it was vanilla. I'll have to double check that. I have all the mangas, but the old ones. Beyond that, also, I really like how Konami Card Division is starting to, or they have been, really catering to fitting nostalgia. So the Jinzo Machine Lord Menace that they made recently, it actually is pretty much a near copy of the manga version of Jinzo, because it is 7 stars, 2400, but it destroys traps, whereas the regular Jinzo does not, and it's 6-star. So here, I just took some liberties. So I tried to find monsters that were in the light and dark attribute field. So I just put in a Kinetic Soldier for the heck of it. Also, it's 3 stars, so you can equip something on that and go under Gravity Bind. Cyber Jar, Cyber Falcon, Cyber Soldier, a Dark World, and Cyber Jar. It's funny, I recently saw that they said these cards are not cyber monsters, which obviously align with the Cyber Dragon series. But back then, these were the cyber cards. Also, I originally had Cybertech Alligator in there, but I took that out because that monster is stronger than Jinzo. And generally, the boss monsters are the strongest ones when a character is showcased and aligned with a certain monster. I put Serpent Knight Dragon in here because I wanted to, and when he lost Jinzo, I'm assuming his next best monster, which he won't be using this card as a coaster for his drink, will be this. So, and the way they see best monsters is literally doing everything they can to summon their boss monsters. In the manga, he uses brain control, so I put that in there, 3 of them. I also view this as a removal in lieu of a fissure or smashing ground or something like that. I'm also starting to take out cards like Snatch Steel and Sinister Serpent out of character decks. I'm just selling them, and they do kind of overpower some things and really draw things out. Machine dupes, as I said. The staples, Graceful Charity, pretty much a Monster Reborn. United We Stand works with Cyber Raider, and the amplifier that we have does not give Jinzo attack points. So I said, I have to use another equip then. So United We Stand is cool because it works with Jinzo number 7 when you have 3 of them. Also Axe to Despair for the heck of it, because when you draw a bunch of these weak monsters, it's kind of like, you're stuck with Cyber Raider, you're stuck with these two. It's kind of like, well, what do I do with them? You can't do much. So I still use Amplifier for the heck of it, in case you do have that off chance you get one of your other traps. But it's ironic because Amplifier will keep your Jinzo in check. So there's a little counter to that. Originally I did have the newer cards in here, but I said, I don't really care. Like the new Reflect Bounder, the new Jinzo, the new everything. I said I don't care. So I'm selling all of that pretty soon. So I use one mind control because, again, from Goat era, coming up through all that time, I also don't have a Nullman Across on here, so I put that in here in lieu of that, is what I'm getting at. Plus, if I'm facing Yugi, and he does have a BLS on the field, because there are multiple draw cards in his deck, and Gold Sarcophagus, obviously it helps. Just like in real life, you use Mind Control against a Magician of Faith, a Chaos Monster, and you go from there. Also, when you flip up a monster with Mind Control, you would also gain an extra 800 attack points with your United We Stand. Isn't that a neat little thing right there? Interaction. Also, Cyberjar fuels a lot in this deck, which is great. So if you play Cyberjar, they get a Magician of Faith or whatever, meaning your bug face down, you're ready with this. So, but again, you can know what's public knowledge. They have to point to it, I believe. But they can't shuffle their monsters. But, it is something from nothing. So that, hey, that's life. Brush Recklessly I put in here again for the weak monsters, because this will give you a turn. Your weak monster will stay alive, and you can sacrifice it for your feed Mega Cyber or Jinzo, or draw into something else to combo with it. Mesmeric Control, he uses this. I actually took a liberty to say, well, minus 800 attack points from one of their monsters, and it can't switch its position, and it can't attack ever again. I really, I have a feeling that Kazuki did, he really liked the D&D stuff, and originally he didn't intend to go full on with the card game. He liked more of the tabletop kind of thing. So what I'm getting at is I like the idea of status buffs or debuffs or conditions, kind of like Pokemon. You have, I forgot what they were. You turn them different ways, and one of them's paralyzed, one of them's confused. So, obviously cards like Spellbinding Circle is essentially it's not a debuff, but it's something. So this is a normal Magic card. The reason why it was played as a quick play in the show in Duel's Kingdom was because you can activate cards that you can either activate cards that alter the attack points, just like quick plays, or you can play certain cards that relate to what's going on in the chain or declaration of attack. There's the secret. And some of this is revealed in the manga as well. So I'll go over Duelist Kingdom decks in another video. 2 Gravity Binds, because in Go format it's limited to 2, and I just like restrictions, working with restrictions. Mirror Force, not only does it fit this theme of mirror and stuff like that, every deck has a Mirror Force. Magic Jammer to protect your Gravity Bind combo. Call the Haunted, you can do tricks with Jinzo. You can call the Haunted Sangan. It's always awesome when you Axe to Despair Sangan. So let me see, Dust Tornado, you can combo that again with a couple cards. Call the Haunted, Magic Jam on your turn if they have a Scapegoat. Yes. So let me just go over a few cards that I took out, in case you want to do something too. So originally I had Cybertech Alligator in there, as I mentioned, because it is a cyber card, but I said, you know, this card comes out a little later, after Battle City. So I decided to take it out, and it's stronger than Jinzo, which, you know, I really don't want to have. And it doesn't really matter, because if I brain control and sack for Fiend Mega Cyber, it does the same thing. So yeah, I originally had Ancient Rules in here for, what the hell is it? Serpentite Dragon, and this, and then I had Summoner's Art for the same purpose. I had a Cannon Soldier in here because of it. You could also distribute a monster they have with brain control. And originally I did have a Sinister Serpent in here. And so I use Serpent with Cannon Soldier and Gravity Bind, and obviously that's 500 damage every turn. But I took that out because various reasons. I had Bonus Trap Hole in here because my fear in all my character decks is actually the Valkyrie deck. In kind of Leon's deck, but I realized that if I just erase cover part of the effect of one of the Valkyrie spells that protects your monsters from spell and traps, it will align with the show, and I don't have to worry about putting a Bonus Trap Hole in every single deck. Anyway, so that is that. I personally like the interactions of playing a weak monster and sort of baiting them to attack, or even gaining a turn with Rush Recklessly. It's sort of that tit-for-tat kind of play as well. So I know there were a couple more combos in here I'm just not saying. A couple more interactions to be aware of. You know, knowledge is power, so... I don't remember, but also, I'm seeing... It's really funny these days. People in Goat format, people are starting to play Reflect Bounder. And it's funny to me, because back in the day, I actually played Reflect Bounder for fun. It was one of my 4 tech cards. You know, it always changed. But I played Reflect Bounder, and, you know, people would attack with a Sinister Serpent, and, you know, they would take 17, but this would die. Likewise, you can also just Metamorphosis and suck it up. But that depends if, you know, I don't have a Book of Moon or Ring of Destruction, so this would live. It was pretty fun. And so I see people now playing that, and because Goat Control is falling out of popularity because everyone's doing Chaos Goat and Warrior Goat. No one's really using Goat Control, but it's funny because against Warriors I found the most success just setting a Scapegoat and ending. Same thing against Reasoning as well. You know, because you can summon that against Reasoning, and what they're going to have to do is get their Chaos Force or BLS or Snatch Steal and go from there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and in the future I plan to make updated deck videos because I'm selling a lot of newer cards, and that's sort of the direction I'm going. Is I want to use the least and do and take it forward. Anyway, all right, bye.